Before we start today's show, we got enough subscribers to get studio space for a live show every single Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to tune in. Type me down below. That way I can get enough food and drink for everyone. But let me know if you plan on tuning into our live show so you can kind of see how the sausage is made for an episode of Falcons Today. Could Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald be following their old defensive coordinator Raheem Morris to Atlanta? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson breaking down all of the latest I am hearing on the potential reunion in ATL with Morris, Ramsey, and Donald, because there have been some ideas surfacing and floated out there that maybe we could see all three of these guys unite in Atlanta. Now, when I first saw this, my initial reaction or my initial response is, this kind of sounds like what Les Snead was saying not too long ago. The Rams GM just 2 weeks ago said, I know this. He'll be able to hire an unbelievable staff. Every coach who's any good, who's qualified, they're going to want to work for Raheem. And I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of tampering charges because just about every player in the NFL is going to text him and want to come play for him. Maybe this is what Les Snead is referring to or was referring to, because Jalen Ramsey, who is under contract with Miami, signed a 3-year, $55 million deal. Maybe he wants to come play for his old defensive coordinator, who he was a 2-time Pro Bowler and 1-time All-Pro with in just 2 seasons, right? 2021 and then 2022. Now, the hurdle with Jalen Ramsey coming to Atlanta, or Jalen Ramsey going anywhere, period, is he's got a monster dead cap hit, meaning the Dolphins would have to eat $32.5 million to move on from him. Now, we have seen teams eat bigger dead cap hits before, right? CC, Matt Ryan to the Colts. But I don't think the Dolphins want to move on from Jalen Ramsey. So it would be one thing if the Dolphins were, ready to move on from Jalen Ramsey after just 1 season where he only played 10 games, but they didn't like the production out of him. But it's a big dead cap hit, and he's still a good player in my eyes. So that's the biggest hurdle, or 2 hurdles I have, really. The dead cap hit and the fact that Miami likes Jalen Ramsey, right? Now, PFF this year, they're not the end-all, be-all, but they ranked him 54th out of 127 qualifying players. So still a top 3rd corner in the NFL. 3 interceptions, 5 pass breakups. Only got to play 10 games because he suffered a knee injury during training camp. But there is something to be said about Atlanta pursuing a legit starting corner, because their CB2, Jeff Okudah, is an unrestricted free agent this year. And after that, they've got had a rookie in Clark Phillips. He'll be a second-year player, but Flowers is a UDFA. Mike Hughes is on the last year of his 2-year contract. Atlanta does not have a ton of up-and-coming depth at the cornerback position. And Jeff Okudah, in his 1 season with the Falcons, I don't think played good enough for a new head coach to come in that doesn't know Okudah, has never coached Okudah, and want to bring him back after a 3-pass breakup, 0 interception season through 13 games for the Falcons, right? It'd be one thing if Arthur Smith was staying and he knows Jeff Okudah and he goes, you know what, I believe in this kid, I'm a big fan of his, and I think he is a good player that we can have going forward. But you have a brand new head coach coming in. He's going to want to get his guys. He's not going to make it a priority to re-sign a borderline starting corner after a B- to B grade season. So here's the trade idea that I came up with for anyone dying to get Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta. The Falcons get Ramsey, and the Dolphins get a 3rd-round pick from Atlanta and a 6th-round pick. This is pretty similar to what the Rams got from Miami. So in a way, the Dolphins sort of just call it even, and they get similar draft compensation back from what they traded to Los Angeles, and they get 1 season out of Jalen Ramsey. So I am sure Dolphins fans watching this right now would say big-time no to this deal, and I don't think this one has a great chance of happening. But if Miami with a new DC decides to shake it up a little bit and they want to get some more draft capital, this could be an opportunity to do that. Now, speaking of Jeff Okudah, would you re-sign him? I think this year we saw some good play out of Okudah. I think he is a starting cornerback in this league. Is he a top-end starter? No, he's definitely going to be your number 2 corner on any team. But I'm open to it for the right price. I'm sure Raheem Morris would like to look into other options, though, since he wasn't here last year. And I'm sure when he watches the tape and looks at the stats and whatnot, he's not going to see overwhelming evidence to bring back Jeff Okudah. Now, next up on the show, we're going to talk about another LA Ram. That is Aaron Donald. Could he be coming to Atlanta? But before we get into all that good stuff, a quick shout out to our sponsor today, which is Prize Picks. Thanks to Prize Picks, I've had a blast watching all the playoff football games, and we have one left. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Super Bowl is in a couple of weeks, and it features a team from Kansas City and San Francisco. So if you want to stay not just locked in on the Super Bowl, because you're going to do that no matter what, but if you want to make some money on the Super Bowl, yeah, you could go for some unique prop bets about, the over-under on the national anthem. But what about some skill-based ones? Like, say, more than half a yard for Patrick Mahomes. I'm feeling pretty confident that Patrick Mahomes can throw for 1 yard. And that's what it's at for Prize Picks. I also like the more on Isaiah Pacheco at half a touchdown. And finally, I like the more for Christian McCaffrey at 35.5 rushing yards. Receiving, I beg your pardon. So if you like those selections, feel free to ride with me. Just do it at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Now let's talk about Aaron Donald, because he is entering the final year of a recent contract he signed, 3 years, $95 million. And when Raheem Morris was his defensive coordinator for 2021 through 2023, he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, no surprise, and a 2-time All-Pro player. Now, Aaron is probably getting towards the end of his career. He turns 33 in May. I still think he has a lot of really good football left in him. Does he have Defensive Player of the Year caliber football left in him? Probably not, but he can still be an extremely impactful player. And the Falcons defense, they are looking for playmakers. Like, they've got some really good pieces in Jesse Bates and Grady Jarrett and A.J. Terrell, but they're looking for game wreckers. And Aaron Donald is a game wrecker. Now, similar to Jalen Ramsey, the financial side of it doesn't really work out very well for anyone interested in either one of these players. His 2024 dead cap hit, which is what a team would put on their books even though he's not on their roster if they trade him before June 1st, is $28.5 million. The Rams are not looking to likely trade Aaron Donald, but they definitely are not looking to trade Aaron Donald and eat nearly $30 million in dead cap hit with only $5.5 million in cap savings. But maybe a top 10 pick could change LA's mind. I came up with this trade idea, and I don't even know myself what to make of it. What about first-round pick swap? I don't know if this is way too much, if this is not nearly enough, or if this is just right, but the Falcons move back 11 spots. The Rams jump into the top 10 when they haven't even had a first-round pick since they took Jared Goff, and they could draft maybe their QB of the future if they are concerned about Matthew Stafford's longevity. I don't know what to think of this. Let me know. Would you do this trade? Accept or decline? Move back from 8 to 19, but pick up this guy named Aaron Donald. You're still going to have a first-round pick, and you're going to have Aaron Donald on your defense. Now, I can't tell you how long he's going to be an Atlanta Falcon for, but you could get Aaron Donald, and all it costs is moving back 11 spots. That's really tough to pass on. I think I would accept this deal if I were the Falcons and it was floated across my desk. Now let's look at some other players to watch for that played under Raheem Morris. Odell Beckham Jr. was with the Rams along with Allen Robinson, so a pair of wide receivers. Atlanta only has Drake London under contract for 2024. So they are definitely going to need to add some wideouts. Leonard Floyd with the Buffalo Bills, he signed a 1-year deal. If you're looking for a Calais Campbell-esque replacement, he could be an interesting name to watch for. Sebastian Joseph Day, more of an interior defensive lineman. Von Miller is not a free agent, but he was so just absent in 2023. I could see the Bills moving on from him. And then Troy Hill is a nickel corner, so if they're looking for an even cheaper option to replace Jeff Okudah, they want to rearrange some people around, Troy Hill could be a name to watch for as well. But that's going to do it for us on today's show. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comment section. I always love hearing your feedback and your thoughts and whatnot in general. So get down below in the comment section and let me know what you think of today's video.